Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show we are going to have Lyon. Lyon is from England in the UK, so let's see what Lyon has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello?
Unmute.
Yes, now I can now. Yes. Hello Lyon, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good, great. I like your background. You're ready for Christmas.
Well, because you're always so cheery, I thought I'd give you some festive cheer.
Oh, amazing. I love the background. Okay, Lyon, am I saying right? Lyon?
Yes.
Okay, Lyon, so before we start the game, just tell me where you're from.
Tetbury.
Hmm.
Which is in the Cotswolds.
Okay, tell me a little bit about it.
Tetbury is possibly most famous for Prince Charles lives here at High Road. But otherwise it's an antique town, antique and interior design. So we get a lot of interior designers come down to buy for their London clients.
I see. And how far is from London?
About an hour and a half.
An hour and a half? Yep.
Well, Kemble Station is an hour on the train, so...
I see. And what do you do for a living, Lyon?
That's not really an easy question to answer. Obviously, I have a shop, but I also do interior design and really anything that makes me happy, which fortunately having a shop as an income allows me to sort of do other things.
I see. So tell me a little bit about your shop. What is about?
Well, the shop sells house plants, interiors, and some antiques and lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So, namely, it's a picture. It's called Cœur de Lion, so it's the heart of me. So it's anything that I like, which hopefully everyone else likes.
I see.
Whether they do or not, I mean, that's the question.
And have you decorated already your shop with Christmas decoration, like your house?
No. I tend to, after last Christmas, this Christmas I'm being a lot more pessimistic, which isn't me, because I don't want to be left with lots of Christmas stock.
I'll tell you something, Lyon. You just made me remember something now. I remember walk around not far where I live now, and I passed in front of a shop, and it was the shop where they sell like Christmas presents, wraps and all the stuff, and it was literally closed. And I felt so sad looking at that shop, because literally the whole shop was Christmas decoration, and I was like, oh my God. I was talking to a friend of mine. I was like, oh my God, that's so sad to see a store closed, you know what I mean, a year ago, and it feels like it was last week because it went so fast this year. But I understand your point. I think the world is still not back yet, you know what I mean?
There's not much, the public don't have much faith at the moment. I don't think they're shopping. It's been fairly quiet for Christmas. I mean, our online is obviously brilliant, but shopping in towns is fairly quiet.
I see. Okay, Lyon, so before we start our journey within the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself.
Well, I find myself very uninteresting.
I don't believe so.
Something interesting about myself. Well, do you know, that's actually a really hard question, isn't it? Because I find lots of people interesting, but when it comes to myself...
Tell me a curiosity, something curious about yourself, something that not many people know about you, maybe.
Well, one thing that lots of people don't actually know, and I should, because for other people around them, is that in my photos, you can never tell, but I've actually got quite a large birthmark, which is covered by hair, or people just don't notice it. But I should actually maybe speak more about it, because there's lots of people who are very timid about having anything on their face. So so that's something that actually no one who, until they meet me, would ever know. I
see. So it's just around your beard here?
Yeah, so it's a birthmark. It's quite a dark one, where lots of people have red ones. So, but yeah, so obviously when my beard's longer, you just don't see it. I don't think about it. But so that's something not many people know.
Interesting. Not anymore. Now everyone's going to watch the interview and they're going to know.
That's it. It's out there.
And I have as well, I have a birthmark in my back here. And, Brazil, we are very religious, like different kind of beliefs in Brazil. And somebody told my mom once that because my mom, when she was pregnant of myself, she had a desire of eating bacon, like crisp bacon. And she didn't, for some reason, she couldn't manage to eat during the pregnancy. And I came with this mark here behind my back, like a proper, like brownish, like big. Anyway, just like Brazilian.
It's not what we think. My mum said that I was laid in the womb like this, so all comfortable. But...
I see. I think a lot of kids they have like I have a cousin as well. He got in his lips like a reddish part of his lips here, and. Again, back to as they say in Brazil, my aunt, she had a desire of eating, I think it was strawberry or cherry or something like that, because it's very dark, it's very kind of, it's a color of like a cherry. Anyway, it treats him well, actually. When he grew up, everyone like spotted, they were like, oh, that's a unique mark.
It does. It makes people unique and people shouldn't hide them.
That's true. That's true. And I think when people talk about as well, when people show off, and there is always a charm behind, you know what I mean? It's a unique thing that no one has. So people should.
Agree.
Okay, Lyon, so welcome to William and the Magic Box. I've got the box full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question. Ready?
I'm ready.
Wow, I'm sure you are. Let's do it. Okay, Lyon, so just before I pick up the first question, through the game, there is a question that you don't have an answer for, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay? It's all very friendly, right?
Okay.
First question for you is, what are the top 3 things on your bucket list?
Top 3 things on my bucket list. Well,
3 of them.
I think that we should always, I don't have a bucket list, but I'm going to have to think of one now, because I think we should always do what we want anyway. So top 3 things, gosh, see, you start with a hard one. I would say that I'd like to visit Africa, actually, which for whatever reason I haven't been, and especially around the Gambia, because I know people who live there. So that would be number 1, as I think it's an absolutely fascinating country, and obviously the birthplace of man. So yeah, visiting Africa would be 1.
Right.
Let me do you know, I would really like to bungee jump, which I've got absolutely no guts for taking that leap. I don't think. You'd have to push me. But yeah, I think that would be quite exhilarating to just drop and fall. So yeah, I think that, and there's nothing stopping me doing that apart from myself, I think. And do you know, I'd like to record a single, and I'd like it to be the worst single anyone has ever heard, because I just think it'd be fun, and release it and let everyone say, "My God, that is a bad singer." But
wait a minute.
At least I can say I've released a single.
I think you are being modest. You're a singer as well.
No. I'm the sort of person who sings, and all the cats in Tetbury sort of flee.
I think there is a singer like inside of your behind, or that you don't want to let come out. I think.
Well, I'm quite husky voice, so I think I'd be like a male Bonnie Tyler crossed with. I would think I was Whitney Houston, but nothing like it.
Willie the Magic Box Season 2, I'm going to invite you again in the future for you. I want to sing your single at the time.
That's it. I'll allow you the permission to play it as your background music.
Amazing, amazing. Between those 3, which one do you think is going to happen first?
Oh gosh, well, I'm not going to go bungee jumping or making a single. So probably, well, hopefully, pandemic, obviously, visit Africa. Because I think that I would like to do it when I'm young. Well, I'd like to bungee jump young. I wouldn't want to be 90 having a heart attack on the way down, would I?
That's true. I'm not ready yet. I'd like to do one day, but I don't think I'm ready yet. Even skydiving, I'm not ready. I'd like to do one day at least, one day in my life, but right now, I'm not ready yet. So let's see.
My aunt skydived and she broke both her knees when she landed. So.
Oh, I got more scared now. It's going to take another 5 years ahead for me after hearing that. Next question. Right, Lyon, before the next question, tell me, what's the best part of living in your town and what's the most challenging part, in your opinion?
Well, Tetbury is very much like that town Cranford, where it's absolutely ridiculous, it's pretentious, it's hilarious. So actually they sound like bad things, but they're good because the town entertains me. It's, it's one of those small Cotswold towns where everyone does, they think is right and they do it with gusto. But it's actually entertaining, seeing the pretentiousness of it all, which I'm possibly, do myself. And there's lots of egos, but I think that's all very good because it makes the town unique. And if Prince Charles ever moves, my God, half of them will not know what to do with themselves. But the worst part was someone came in my shop 2 days ago and she was new to town and I had never really thought about it. And being that everyone knows one another, she'd moved from London and she'd said that she'd never known such a lonely town. She feels very lonely here. And I think that to outsiders who come in to move here, it's very lonely for them because people have already got their set groups of friends and it takes quite a bit of integration for them, I think. Which, but just come to Coeur de Lion, I'll be friendly to all of you if you buy a plant.
Very good, very good. Right, next question for you is, what is your idea of a perfect friendship?
A perfect friendship to me is, and I've watched some of your videos, I didn't want to, but I got addicted to it, and I was watching people's responses to these questions. But to me, a perfect friendship is trust, and everyone says that, but I don't mean trust and honesty. It's that you know each other instinctively, but if I were to leave my phone on the side or something like that someone wouldn't feel the need to look at it, or that's just an example, but it's just that you have this complete trust in one another, and sometimes you don't need to tell one another things because you know that there's something wrong and you're just there and you can be quiet. And good friendship, there's no awkward silences even if you are silent, because it's just very comforting to have someone around you.
Absolutely. And I think friendship, we don't choose friends or best friends. It just happen naturally. They come to you as a chemical thing. It's like a genuine thing. So
it does. And I think that you possibly only have 3 real friends in your life. People come and go, but there's throughout your life, there's maybe 3 people who you would tell everything to.
And do your friends, they live close to you, around the same town or not? They live around the country?
No, they're all fairly local, which is good.
Very good. Like you. Next question. All right. Next question for you is, what was your favorite thing to do as a kid?
Well, I was quite bookish as a child, if I can. And I loved learning, which sounds really boring. But no, I would like exploring. So whether it be the local area or just getting on my bike. I used to love bike riding and being with my friends on their bikes. And just exploring and seeing things that you can get in the car with your parents and visit where they want to visit. But just exploring, going out in the fields and building rope swings. Being very outside. I like learning about nature. And then I'd say the other half is that I like my own company, so I love reading. I absolutely adore reading. And when I was 7, I think I took home the complete works of William Shakespeare, which the school teacher said he will never read it. And I did read it. I didn't understand it, but I read it because I wanted to. So I was adventurous and then very boring at the same time.
Do you have siblings as well?
Yes, I have two sisters. So, but my younger sister, there's quite an age difference between us. So, as she was really, growing into a person, my elder sister and I had already flown the nest. So, my elder sister and I have a close relationship.
I see. So we are the middle one, the middle child.
I'm the middle, yes, the curse of the middle child.
Ooh.
So I was not the favourite because one came before me. When the baby comes, it was like, who's Leon? I jest. I was my mum and dad's number one son, but I was their only son. So.
Ooh. Next question. Yo, tell me something. How did the passion for plants came into your life? It was just because of the business, or you always have this connection with plants?
I never had a connection with houseplants, obviously. I'd always, as I said, when I was younger, liked being outdoors, in nature, and it came from wanting to understand nature itself. And the thing with houseplants is that they are plants we don't normally see growing natively in the UK. So there's something very exotic about them, I find. And I guess my joy came from learning how to propagate and separate, grow from seed, and just watch something come into fruition, because it makes us feel very small as people on this planet. That there's these amazing forms of life which they're not animals, they're plants, but it's just amazing to watch them grow and see what they can do. Like I say, it makes me feel very small on this planet, and then plus on the universe, because plants are beautiful things.
And which plant is your favorite?
Well, I could get myself in trouble, because when I'm selling plants on my Instagram, every plant is, oh my god, this is my favorite plant. I always forget to delete the post before that. But my favorite plant, my favorite genus is philodendron, which is possibly the philodendron Ceylon, which is the tree philodendron, just because it's huge and big, and the leaves unfurl, and they're incredible. They're not rare, they're not expensive, but I just absolutely adore them.
Right. Next question for you is, which question you wouldn't have an answer for?
I have lots I don't have answers for, but in life, oh god, I'll have to go deep with this one. Is that when you meet someone and they are going through things in their own life, and they ask you what the meaning of it is, whether they've lost someone close to them and they just don't know forward. And that is, in some ways, it's a selfish question to ask someone, what is the meaning of living? Because they're obviously going through trauma. And I don't think any of us really have an answer to it, apart from that we're here and we need to make the best of it, and we can't control what happens. Fate has ideas for some people, and we've got to look at if someone passes young, that if we age and we get that privilege, it is privilege, and you should really respect it.
Do you believe in life after death?
No. I think that's why it's a hard question when people ask me, or certain people ask me. But I do believe that when you die, that the beginning becomes very clear and the end becomes very clear. So, it's almost like you may be filled with knowledge of the universe for a very brief second, and how wonderful that actually is.
Good one. Ready for another question?
Yes.
Let's do it, Leon. Next question for you is, would you ever get a tattoo, and what that would be?
I do. I have two tattoos. One is my date of birth, because in Roman numerals, it shows my age, because I was about 16, 17 when I had it. Um, and now I can never lie about my age, which is, is imprinted on there. And the other one I have is here, and I won't upset you by taking my top off, but it's Marlene Dietrich in a top hat and tails, very classic pose. And I had someone draw it especially to put it on. No real reason. I just like the picture.
I see. So the second, do you think you're gonna have another one, or you're gonna have some more?
I don't think so. No, I think I've grown out of that, and I do fear that when I get older, what my our skin changes and what am I look like? Am I going to look like some psycho man on the beach covered in wrinkly ink? Poor Marlene Dietrich's probably aging now. The skin is dropping, so she's getting jowls.
Ooh. Next question.
Yes.
Let's do it. Okay, Lyon, what's the most challenging part of being a businessman, and like in your shop, and what's the best part of it?
Well, up until lockdown, I didn't think that anything was challenging. I thought that I was struggling because I had a good business model and liked what I did. But I suppose the most challenging part, oddly, is the paperwork. If you don't file paperwork on time, you get fines, as you can tell. I like good paperwork because I've had fines, but not sending it back on time. But that's the most challenging thing, is dealing with VAT and Corporations Act, because it takes a lot of time, and you do need, if you're going to do it yourself, you do need to understand it, which is easier said than done. But also, I guess, if it's your sole business, and I always tell people that if they want to do something, they're unhappy in their job and they've got a dream of doing their own business, they should do it, because one day you might look back and think, I didn't do that, I regret that, and you've got to think that. Because then there's the good side, which is I control my own time. I can go out and do things in the week. I've got fixed 2 hours. And it's freedom. Having your own business is a freedom. Once you establish, of course, it takes hard work. But I feel very free by it. But then, I've done it for a long time, so.
Very good one. Right, tell us about your first kiss and your first love.
Well, my first kiss was with, am I allowed to say names? I'm sure that she's not going to watch this. My first kiss was with a girl called Laura Summer, and I really fancied her, and I was only about 6, and I was at the water fountain at school, and she bent down to the water fountain, and I went down at the same time and kissed her. It was quite romantic, really. So that was my first kiss. I mean, she wasn't my first love because I went off a bit, but my first love. I guess I was about 17, just experiencing my feelings that I was gay, and I think I fell in love with someone who I couldn't have, and I think a lot of people do that anyway.
Yeah.
And that's possibly the most hurtful kind of love, when you can't have something that you want. And I always get what I want. So my first love was I think the realization that I was attracted to men, and he was gay as well, but he was older than me. So yeah.
I was about to ask, it was impossible because I thought he was straight. It's just because he was in a different age, you mean? He was just in a different...
He wasn't straight. He was a different age, and what possibly would have been the biggest regret of my life.
Wow.
Back in hindsight,
Is he still around? You know him still, still in touch or not?
A few years ago, he actually got in touch with me and asked me to go on a date, and I said no.
Oh my God! Why is that? You just didn't feel like, or you just want to pay off what your feelings as a
What we might find attractive as a teenager becoming an adult, we probably won't find attractive as we grow older.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Ready for another one?
Yes, I am.
Let's do it, Leon. Next question for you is, which is one movie you could watch over and over again?
It's hard because there's movies in different parts of our life, aren't there? I did choose one ready for you. And I think it would be Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, which is Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton.
Tell me about it.
Well, it's a 60s film, strangely filmed in black and white. For big stars to film a black and white film at that time was unusual. And they're a married couple. He's a professor, and she was the head of the school's daughter when they got married. And they've both become raving alcoholics. And it's all based in one evening. They have this young couple who just started school as teachers, come to their house, they get blinded drunk. And it's almost like a battle royale between them, the words that these two people absolutely despise each other, but they're married to each other. And they play it so well. And to see, I think it's to see Elizabeth Taylor looking so bloated, and because at this time, it was just after Cleopatra, I think. She was the world's most beautiful woman. She completely downed herself and said, I'm going to get into this role. And both of their performances to me are quite perfect. But anything with Richard Burton and that gorgeous Welsh accent, well, Welsh-English accent I think he's got, is worth watching.
And when was the last time you watched it?
Well, I haven't watched it for quite a while. It's possibly about 2 years. But like, as I say, I've had to think, what could I watch every day without wanting to smash the television? And I think it would have to be that one.
Very good. Next one. Let's do it. Tell me something. Did you always have the support of your family being gay?
Yes. So I was surprised. I mean, I never actually came out, and I did discuss this on my Twitter once, which upset some people. Some people were happy about it. I never came out because I never had to. Now, it doesn't mean I don't understand how hard it is for other people to come out. But my mum and dad, my mum would love me no matter what. My dad was, I know a lot of people say he was a very manly man, and he was the only person I'd possibly ever feared in a respectful way, because I loved him dearly. But I never had to say to them, Mum and Dad, I'm gay. And I had girlfriends and things like that. Maybe it's more my personality that I don't feel that I've ever got to explain myself for my feelings. And if I am attracted to men, women, whatever, why have I got to explain that? And what right is it for anyone to judge or create argument about it? And maybe that played a small part in it, that I just didn't mention it and they didn't. But I had a partner who my dad used to refer to as his son, just out of the blue. And that was a revelation to me. But then he like I say, despite being this very strong character, he loved me, and what I wanted to do made him happy.
Very good. Next question for you is, what is the most romantic thing someone has ever done for you?
As you can tell by my face, I don't know. I think I'm the romantic. I don't think people have really been romantic with me because I'm so romantic with them.
So tell me, what's the most? So tell me, what's the most romantic thing that you've done to someone that they, you know what I mean? Their feedback was like, "Wow, that's something that no one ever done for me."
I don't know. I think it's the way I look at them, actually. I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I'm just a very romantic person. I think that when I love someone, they know that it's just all enveloping, and in my eyes, they are the most important thing to have ever existed. And I think you do it more through feelings, touches, emotions, just the way you speak to someone. Of course, I've been away with people, and I think that if you need to show romance through lavishing gifts, you're almost buying someone with romance. And like I say, I just feel very much like a young boy when I'm in love, and it's sweet. And I think people, hopefully, the person who I'm in love with knows that.
Are you in love at the moment?
I'm always in love.
Oh, you're very fast answering. Next one, let's do it, Lyon. Right, next question for you is, describe yourself in 3 words.
Well, I'm patient, I'm dutiful, and I'm good.
And a negative one.
I'm patiently impatient.
It means that you know your impatience time, the impatience, you are aware of it.
No, I'm a really patient person, and I think patience is a blessing with lots of people in the world today, especially people. Well, I won't go into that, politics and things, but I think it's good to be patient. But then I'm also very impatient with one thing that really gets me is people who don't enjoy their job, and they are doing something for you, and they let you know that they are miserable at their job. And it makes your experience bad. If you don't like your job, if you're not good at it, do something else. And I become very impatient with that sort of mentality. And I'm impatient when I want something. I want it now, because maybe I've been spoiled in the past and can have it. But I'm not a material person. I think lots of people think from my Instagram and things like that I must have lots of material things around me, and I'm not, because when I say it's something I want, it might be a plant, and to me that's not material, because that's a living thing. But I don't want for technology and things like that.
Right, the message is out. Next question, let's do it. Right, Lyon, before the next question, what is the best selling have you ever done in your store? Something that shook your head, that you consider, okay, that was my best selling?
I think I'm best at selling myself. I don't mean it in that way. But when you're coming to my shop, you can buy an antique pot from Italy, from anywhere. You can buy a plant from anywhere. But people come because they want to buy from me, which is nice, because it's not just picking it up in a garden centre. So I think that actually the best sale I've ever made is selling myself as someone that people want to buy from, which I think is good, because you shouldn't just buy an item. You should buy that lifestyle that someone is saying to you. This is a lifestyle which is nice to have. That was a cop-out, wasn't it? That was a real cop-out. But I can't, I sell so much.
Okay, good one. Right, what makes you most uncomfortable about yourself?
Well, this was a question I've watched you ask lots of people as well. And so I'm giving a real running commentary on people. I often see people pick up on a physical characteristic. People say, "Oh, I wish my muscles were bigger. I wish I was taller. I'm uncomfortable about this." And I think it's almost a defense mechanism for you to say, "No, your muscles are great. No, you're a great height. You're perfect." Whereas I think there's always something deeper which makes us uncomfortable about ourselves. And mine would be that despite all of the bravado, I'm actually a very private and shy person, and I wish that I wasn't so private, which is why I agreed to do this, because I never really let people know what I'm thinking. And so yeah, I'm uncomfortable with my desire to be private, and that does come from an innate shyness, I think.
You always been private?
Yes. I mean, if my mother phones me up and says, "What did you have for breakfast?" I'll say food, because I don't know. To me, there was a very good quote, which said, "For your joys and sorrows, you shouldn't tell them, because it's cheap when you tell them." And I shouldn't live by that, but maybe it's one thing that I liked about the old British way was that stiff upper lip, not to burden other people with problems.
Very good. Good one. Ready for another one?
Yes.
Let's do it. Next question for you is, what would your ideal life look like?
Well, like this. My ideal life. Well, I enjoy spending time in France, and unfortunately for the last 18 months, I haven't been able to. My ideal life would be sort of predetermined over the last 5 years, and unfortunately the pandemic stopped that, but fingers crossed next year it will go back, and that would be to spend 6 months in the UK with my business and then spend 6 months in France. I think that what's been sort of ripped away from a lot of people is that if I wanted to spend 6 months in France and then said, actually I want to stay another few months because 52% of the population of Britain, I no longer can. I can't even go to Greece because I've spent all my time at my other home. So there's got to be a little pain with it. So my ideal life, unfortunately, will not happen as long as we are part of Europe. So fingers crossed one day we shall return.
Absolutely. And where in France?
Is in La Perche, which is just above the Loire Valley.
Okay. Cool. 3 questions left for you.
Is that all?
Not yet. Let's do it. Okay, next question for you is, what do you like the most about your best friends?
That they don't ask me too many questions.
Why?
Well, actually, what I like most about my best friends, that was unfair, is that your best friends, you can go and not speak to them for 3 months, for whatever reason, but they are your best friends and you know that they are there. And also, your best friends are the sort of people you could ring up at 3 a.m. and talk to them, or they can do it to you. You know, it wouldn't be why the hell are you calling me? But then on the flip side, your best friends probably wouldn't do that because they wouldn't want to burden you with it, and they would always start the phone call with "How are you?" not "Oh God, my life is terrible." Because who wants to pick up the phone and have someone say, "God, what happened to you today?" You know, ask your friends how they are. Cool. So that's why I like my best friends, because they understand me and I understand them. We're on the same wavelength, I think.
Great. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Right, before the next question, Lyon, what would be your best piece of advice for someone would you like to start a business selling plants, or the same business you are right now? What would be the best piece of advice for those people?
Don't do it because I don't want the competition. That would be my best piece of advice. But no, my honest best piece of advice, that would be the first thing I said. Don't do it anywhere in the Cotswolds, please. But my next piece would be that I see lots of, if it's the same business as me, which, you know, my business is unique, I think, without, you know, so I can incorporate different things. And other people might only be interested in plants. So if we say plants, is make sure you actually know about the plants you're selling, because you are selling something to someone they're going to take home. They might not understand it, and they're dependent on you for the advice. So some people just think You buy plants, you sell them, that's it. And people want more because plants aren't cheap. They've become a lot more expensive because of the way we bring them into the country if you're buying from abroad. So yeah, research it and stick with it, because no business starts off, you know, the day you open that door to the first 3 years that you are going to have a good day every day. You can't even take it by week or by month. You need to take it year on year and think, my God, that was a good year at the end of the year. And hopefully you're not going to say it's a bad year, but you know, January and February, you could have an absolute torturous month. So you need to save for that and make sure there's money in the accounts after Christmas. So yeah, it's taking it bit by bit, I guess.
Good. Next one for you is, all right, which book had a big influence on you?
I do love to read, so actually I would say it's A Universe from Nothing, which I can't remember who wrote it, but I read it on, I read it in Greece actually, when I was in Rome, and it's called A Universe from Nothing, because I cannot imagine what nothing feels like. And this book tries to explain it, which I still can't imagine what nothing feels like. But the fact that it's telling you quantum physics, which I'm never going to understand. You know, if I could switch places with anyone for a day, it would be Einstein or someone like that, so I could just understand what they thought they knew. But yes, this book is very insightful. It's scientific, it's guessing at the same time. But it made me look at, again, just how very small the Earth is in the grand scheme of everything, which makes us, we're like not even microbes, not a grain of sand in the universe. So yeah, I think that made me think. I've never thought so much after reading a book.
Wait, I'll check it out for sure. I'll take this one. Last question, Lyon. Let's do it. Last one. Right, before the last question, actually it was yesterday. I had an interview with someone as well who does the same business as you, and I was talking to her, and she said that through this COVID crisis, actually her business increased a lot, the income and everything. Never been so busy because of that, because people they put more plants, they, you know what I mean, gardening, and even the city as well. Some business around the city as well. They were contacting her to change a lot of things about plants in their business. How about you? It was the same as well, or it came out as a positive thing during this challenge journey?
I think during the first lockdown, not so much, but then as soon as the second lockdown approached, people reevaluated the space they live in, essentially, whether it be their garden. And we always said, those of us with gardens were lucky. People who lived in apartments, even without balconies, they had to reevaluate the space they're in and how to bring the green indoors. And as with anything, you think there are fads and phases, but I think with greening your house and improving the air of your home, I think it's here to stay. And so yeah, I think that was a positive out of lockdown, is that for a lot of people, they changed the way they live, and not just their gardens, not just obviously buying plants for their house or thinking my house could be this or my house could be that, but changed the way they live. But business-wise, through the first and second lockdown, yes, my online really shot up. Unfortunately, in the New Year lockdown, my father passed away on New Year's Eve, so I didn't feel like doing anything really in the most recent lockdown.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure otherwise it would have, would continue.
See, sorry to hear that. Sorry about your dad's past. Last question for you is, what's the soundtrack of your life and why you consider that?
Do you know what? I think it would be It's My Life by No, I think, because I think there's a real joy in being, being able to look after yourself. We all want someone else there as well, but I think to look after yourself as well and to be in love, because the song is very much about being in love with someone as well. But also that you really, when you go through life, there's only one person who can really, really ever depend on their advice, and that's your own. And I think that we all know right from wrong, we should follow our own advice.
Good, very good. Right, not the end yet. Okay, let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words and you just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Okay.
Let's start with friendship.
Trust.
Love.
Trust.
Money.
Irrelevant.
Sex.
Fun.
Family.
Love.
Life.
Fun. I'll say fun again.
Religion.
Pointless.
Fear.
Don't be afraid. So that's all I think of.
Politics.
Lunacy.
Desire.
Hunger.
Regrets.
Never.
Success.
Hopefully.
Wish.
Happen.
Happiness.
Smile.
One word for plants.
Life.
And the last one now, England. One word.
Unfortunate.
Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friends for a coffee. And
Yes.
I'm going to ask your best friends, what is the most beautiful thing about Lyon? And what's something that he still needs to improve, to work on? What do you think your best friend will tell me?
I think that, I'm not sure they'll use the word the most beautiful thing about me. I would hope that they would say that I'm good, because I think that's such a nice word to be described as. And what I would need to work on, I think they would say, contact, because I'm very bad at making contact with people.
Friends always say that.
They do. I mean, it's a two-way thing though, you know?
That's true. Absolutely. That's true. Right. Let's play now Lyon and the Magic Box. And you can ask me a question. Okay, Lyon, you can ask me a question now.
I'm going to ask you a question you ask other people, because it's one of my favorite. And that is, if you could see one event in history happen, what would it be?
I'm going to be very English now. The wedding of Princess Diana and Charles.
You can see that on VHS.
I know, but I think if I could be there on the day, I think I would be so fascinated, and I hope I was invited as well. You know what? I was born in the same year Prince William, 1982, and yeah, he's in June and I'm November. So yeah, I love Princess Diana. I think if I could be that in that day, that's beautiful, a remarkable day, I think I'd be very happy just to see that beautiful event happen at the time, for sure.
You must be, because you knew the answer straight away.
Say again?
You knew your answer straight away. So
yeah, I wish I was there. I think when I watch those documentaries, sometimes I spend times on YouTube just watching that moment. It's just like it never ends. It's just so beautiful.
And I think things like that are, when I said unfortunate about England, it's the current state of the country. But when you look at events like that, where the country comes together and everyone is for the same thing, it is a beautiful thing.
The coronation of the Queen as well, you know, just all those remarkable moments, I think is just fascinating to see, to be there. Imagine just being there and be part of it. It just would be like...
Well, I'm very boring, and I would like to see the first person who looked at a animal and thought, I wonder what that would taste like cooked. Because where did that come from? So I want to see that. I want to see, I think, you know, would I think if I looked at an animal and I'd never cooked an animal, no one'd ever cooked it before, I thought, oh, I bet that would be nice, hot. So I told you, it's
Lyon, did you have a good time? Did you enjoy the interview?
I had a lovely time.
Thank you so much. Thanks for taking your time for the interview on your day off. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It was a pleasure to connect with you. But before you go, I'd like to share a positive message, or a positive quote, something that inspires you in life.
It is. Now, I actually had to, I'm going to have to look at it, you see, because it was a quote which I do love, but I just cannot always pick up. And it's one of the paradoxical commandments, which I think are great commandments because they always start off sounding negative, but they've got, at the end, it is good. And it is, people are illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered. Love them anyway. Which I just think is great because, you know, we've all got faults, but we all need to love one another.
Yes, what I heard once as well, the people who does, let's say, bad thing, or they kind of come down on you for some reason and kind of hate those people, they need the most love from us. You know what I mean? So I heard that once as well. I think it's, let's love everyone.
Yeah, definitely. One world, one love. What a great place to be to live.
Lyon, I wish you a very Merry Christmas. I hope you have a wonderful year. New Year's Eve starting a month's time, more or less. Enjoy your Christmas around your family and keep in touch. Thanks so much for the interview. Okay, it was a pleasure. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Keep in touch. Okay.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.